My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Hello, welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Today, we're going to talk about something that I don't actually talk about a lot on the show or anywhere really for some reason, and that is parenting. But it's been up in my world recently, so I thought I would kind of explore that with you a little bit on the show, and specifically the piece about getting into judgment of parenting. So here in Canada, everyone's getting ready back to school showing up. I know in the United States, you guys are a little bit earlier than us. And I think the same in my friend who's a teacher in Switzerland, they're a little bit early, but it's all kind of up in the air right now, right? So we're trying to get organized. We want to give our kids the best. We have all these pressures of the school system, of society, of our world, to be the greatest parents possible. And I think that especially with school, those are one of the places where we come into even more judgment, right? It's like you can see it. So if your kid isn't doing well in school, the parent will either judge the child or they're going to judge themselves. If you're not organized for school, for your kids back to school, you're going to try and put the blame on someone else. You're going to put the blame on yourself. What if we didn't have to put the blame on anyone or anything? What if we didn't have to judge our parenting? And what if judging your parenting or someone else's parenting doesn't actually make a greater parent? There's this insidious lie about judgment here, guys, here on planet Earth. And it's that judgment is a creative energy, and that judgment is what will make a greater world for us all. It is not true. Judgment is the killer of all possibility. Judgment is all lies used to control you and to control others. Woo! Well, that brought up a big, crazy, awesome energy. So everything that brings up and lets down, will you just train and create it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all in shorts, boys, no bads, and beyonds. If that's the first time you've heard that, you're new to the show, that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. And if you look below, we'll have a link for you to check out. If you want to know more about that clearing statement, you can use it yourself. It is phenomenal, and truly magical. That's what happened. Those words came together. And we use it on the show just to clear energy. That's all I'm going to say about it. But feel free to do your own research. Okay, so whether you're judging yourself as a good parent, a right parent, a wrong parent, a terrible parent, or anything in between, none of that will actually create the phenomenal parent that you can be. That is beyond judgment. It's beyond right and wrong. It's beyond anything that you've ever seen, because it will be so different and unique to you. There is no such thing as a perfect, good, right parent. And I know that we think that there is. I know that we're told that there is. I know that we have these structures of morality and superiority. And I read so many damn parenting books. When I first became pregnant, I was like, I am not messing this up. I will research, I will study. And like, I just got the huge spectrum. And when I realized part of what that gifted me was that different methods, different points of view, all felt that they were the superior right one. So if everyone thinks they're superior and right, who is right? Well, no one. To me, it canceled everything out. And I had to start looking from a different place with my parenting. So I'm a single mama of two boys, if you haven't heard of that on the show, and I've talked about them. My youngest is currently 11 years old. My oldest is 14. We've got teenagers, we've got preteens, and I've always enjoyed being with kids. I've worked in daycares, I've done children's entertainment, I've worked in like after school care programs, before school care programs, all the things. Like kids for me have always been one of the easiest arenas to play in, which I realize now is bizarre because I assumed it was like that for everyone, and it's actually not like that for everyone. And it might be like that for you, which is awesome. That's great. Own that, acknowledge that, that is yours. And if it's not that way for you, that does not make you wrong. That does not make you a bad parent. That does not mean you're not cut out to be a parent or anything. It's that you get to explore the difference you are with parenting. That's going to create that phenomenal creationship with your kids and dynamic way of parenting them that will bring forward more possibilities. Isn't that what you really want anyways? Like when you really like just boil it down, like all the things that you want for your kids, ultimately. What do you ultimately want for your kids? Okay, so get a sense of whatever that is. Maybe make a list. Now, what do they ultimately want right now? Are they the same things? Maybe some of them are. There's probably some overlap, okay? And some of them might not be in your kid's universe yet. Like if you have a 3-year-old, they're probably not like concerned about, you know, what kind of parent they're going to be or their adult life or any of those things, right? And so you here are this beautiful, amazing parent that actually is willing to be aware of their future. Now, here's the thing. They're infinite beings. They are actually aware of their future. They're aware of so much more than we've ever been led to believe, but their mind most likely is not. It's another conversation, the difference between being and mind. But let's just play along here in this way and not go too far into the mind piece. Okay, so what if judging yourself as a parent or aligning and agreeing with other people's judgments of you as a parent will not make you a greater parent? What if actually exploring what parenting is for you, exploring what it is with each individual child, because that's the thing, is that you can't actually parent kids the same. Every child needs someone different. And I learned that so much in daycare and after school care programs. Like every kid that I interacted with required something different of me. Every kid. I'd have a group of 20 kids, and every single one of them required me to be a different facilitator, a different contribution. So depending on how many kids you have, that's how many parents you are. And what if you didn't have to judge any of them? What if you could be for them what you know you could be when you chose? Even if it was an oopsies, okay, there's a choice there. When you chose to become a parent, what did you know that you could be with them? And I'm saying with them, not for them, because that is another conception that we go into, is like everything's for my kids and I'm doing this for my kids and I need to blah, blah, blah for my kids. Well, that's always putting them into that like under you position. When you invite them to with my kids, when you invite them to with, then they have to come up to you. They have to come into contribution, which is gifting and receiving, rather than just taking what you give them. I did this for you. You better take it. Let's do this together. So when you step into the parenting arena, when you're parenting your children, when you're being the parent, What if you could actually do it from question and possibility rather than judgment? What would a good parent do here? What did my parents do here? What if I don't do this, I'll be judged as this. So what are you avoiding and defending here in the parenting arena? It's like you're in a boxing arena rather than in this like dance arena. Dancing with possibilities, dancing with these amazing beings that you're so lucky to have in your life. And you call them your kids. What is truly possible for you with parenting beyond judgment? So as you're heading back to school, as your kids are heading back to school, as you're doing your best to juggle end of summer stuff and work stuff and business stuff and relationship stuff and back to school stuff, as you were doing everything you can with the tools you have available, I'm just going to invite you to take a moment, like right now, sit down and just acknowledge your badassery. Acknowledge how much you care. And acknowledge that no matter what, you're not going to get it right. Give that up. Throw it out the window. But you also are not going to get it wrong. So that's a lie too. You can ask, what is possible here? What is possible here this next school year? What is possible with my kids? What is possible for my kids that I could facilitate? What are they asking for? What are they looking for that I never considered that I could actually facilitate them into having that possibility with more ease, joy, and glory? What can I be here with my kids that create something greater for all of us? Include you. You are valuable. You are important. Kids desire to contribute to you more than most people realize. And it is such an acknowledgement of their being when you are willing to receive from them, no matter how old, whether they're a teeny tiny baby or they're all grown up. But if you're willing to receive and gift and have true communion with them. So just for today, throw away judgment. Okay? Or for 5 minutes. I don't know, whatever your tolerance is. And just don't judge you as a parent, right or wrong, good or bad. Just acknowledge that there is a possibility here. What is that possibility? Play with those questions, get curious. And I gave you actually a lot of questions already in this podcast, so maybe you rewatch this one and play with those questions. Write them down, explore them in your daily life. What is possible for you with your kids that you never imagined was possible, that if you allowed the possibility would create a different reality for all? Anything that's not that, we just train and creative, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all nature of boys, come back to me else. Thank you so much. This felt like a really nice beginning into exploring parenting. To be continued, perhaps. Let me know in the comments below if you actually would love more on parenting, whether it's you being a parent or the stuff that you've experienced while being parented. That's a whole nother universe. So I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to know what you'd like to get out of this podcast. It's always such a gift. And please, as always, share, like, subscribe, all the things. Thank you. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Curious Universe podcast.
Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?